Okay, now that last lesson, you're wondering what was the point of that? Well, we're going to learn a quicker way to graph lines. Now, here's the old way we graphed, okay? So the old way, y equals -2 times x plus 1, okay? Got y by itself. So we would design an xy table. It's called an input-output table. Now the x can be whatever I want, but I usually just picked 5 simple random numbers. I want negatives and positives, okay? So I go 0, 1, 2, -1, -2, okay? So those are the inputs, and this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Okay, so plug in 2 for x, so y is equal to -2 times x plus 1, and y is still -2 times x plus 1, -2 times x plus 1, -2 times x plus 1, -2 times x plus 1. Well, these are the inputs for x, so now I put 2 in, okay? So I take -2 times 2 plus 1, -3. Now I'm going to get the rest of my outputs done. Now, x is 1, so -2 times 1 plus 1, that gives me -1. Then 0, okay? -2 times 0 plus 1 is 1, okay? Then -1 in for x, so I multiply -2 times -1, and then I plus 1, I got 3. Then -2, so -2 times -2 plus 1, that gives me 5, okay? Now, so 2 is with -3. I did an input of 2, I got an output of -3. So on x, I go to 2. So here's 0, x of 2 would be 1, 2, and then here y is 0, so y of -3 would be -1, -2, -3, okay? So you go forward 2 and down 3. Okay? Then 1, -1. Okay, so when I put 1 in, I got an output of -1. Okay, so 1 on x is here, -1 on y is here. Okay, 0, 1. Okay, so 0 on x is in the middle, 1 on y is up here. Okay, 0, 1. Then -1 goes with 3, x, y. So -1 on x is left, okay, and then 3 on y, just 2, 3, so -1, 3. Then -2, 5. Okay, so -2 on x, 5 on y, 4, 5, so -2, 5, okay? Then you take your straight edge and make a straight line. Because the line is continuous, it keeps going on. And that's how we did it the old way. It takes a little bit of time. Now, we're going to apply a way where we can get the graph instantly, okay? So, turn past that page, turn past this page, and now we're going to graph equations without making the table. It's pretty easy to do. Make a wall on your y side. Y is by itself, and then you got -4 times x plus 1. So we know from the past assignment, -4 is the m, and then plus 1 is the b. So I go slope and y-intercept, okay? Now, the slope is -4, and the y-intercept is +1. So you graph the y-intercept first, okay? So this is the y-axis, so where's +1? It'd be here. So you make a point right there. Now, here's what a slope is. It's rise over run, okay? So you need to make that -4 into a fraction, and if it's not, you put a 1 under it, okay? Now from this point, not from the middle, from that point, okay, my first point I made, I go down 4 because it's negative. If it's positive, I go up, and I go forward 1. Okay, so from that first point, not from the middle, from the point you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, forward 1. Now do it again. Down 4, forward 1. Okay, and you do it again, you're out the graph. We just need to get 3 points when applying the slope and y-intercept method. Okay, so see how quick I graph that line? Arrows on both ends. Now y equals 3x minus 2. Okay, so y is by itself. Y's got to be by itself to apply this method. So this is m, this is b. And that's slope and y-intercept. So the slope is 3, and then minus 2, negative 2 would be the y-intercept. So we plot the y-intercept. So 0's in the middle. Remember, the y's up and down, so then negative is downward. I make a point right there, negative 2. Then from there, 3, I make that into a fraction by putting a 1 under it. Okay, so 3 is positive this time, so it will be up 3 and forward 1. It's rise over run, so it's going to be up, down on top, and then sideways on bottom. But you always be going forward, sideways. So 1, 2, 3, forward 1. 1, 2, 3, forward 1. And you can keep doing that, but 3 points is good enough. Put arrows on each side of your line. It does go on forever. Okay, y equals negative 5x plus 2. So that's 5 times x plus 2, so that's the m, that's the b. So the slope is negative 5. The y-intercept is positive 2. So on the y-axis, you go to positive 2. So there's positive 1, there's positive 2, make a point. That's where the line's going to cross our y-axis. Now the slope has to be a fraction, so you put a 1 under it. Y-intercept don't, but the slope does. Now you're going to go down 5 and forward 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, forward 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, forward 1. And there's my line. Okay. So it's a quick way to get the line. We're going to need a quicker way than the table because that takes too long. Okay, y equals 2x minus 3. So that's 2 times x minus 3. So this is m, this is b. I think it's called m because it's the multiplier. Don't ask me why they call it b for the beginning. Okay, so the slope is my multiplier of 2. 2 over 1, and then minus 3 is my y-intercept. So on the y-axis we go to negative 3. So here's y, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Okay. Then from there it's positive 2, so we'll go rise 2 and over 1. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. And there you go.